Donald Trump and the sycophants who enable him are finally being held accountable. I have a few major stories to break down for you today, including Donald Trump being held in contempt of court for violating his gag order, including Hunter Biden suing Fox News because they spread a massive amount of propaganda about him, and even Rudy Giuliani wanting to leverage our aid over Ukraine to find a file on the Bidens. Does that sound familiar? It's exactly what Trump got impeached for. But firstly, let's break down this Hunter Biden Fox News lawsuit that seems imminent. And also, it's coming at a terrible time for Fox News because they just lost that $800 million lawsuit to Dominion. Dominion won the lawsuit, but the damage was already done because when I'm on the ground at these Trump rallies, people are always saying, oh, Dominion voting machines are rigged, are owned by George Soros, whatever the conspiracy theory is. But Hunter Biden's lawyer, Mark Garrigo, said in a statement to NBC, for the last 5 years, Fox News has relentlessly attacked Hunter Biden and made him a caricature in order to boost ratings and for its financial gain. The recent indictment of FBI informant Smirnov, remember, Smirnov was literally a Russian asset. He was getting his information from Russia. The recent indictment of FBI informant Smirnov has exposed the conspiracy of disinformation that has been fueled by Fox, enabled by their paid agents and monetized by the Fox enterprise. We plan on holding them accountable. I mean, when is Fox News going to learn that you can't just endlessly spread propaganda for Donald Trump about election fraud, about Hunter Biden, that you will see consequences because you are a mainstream news network, or as my friend calls them, Fox Propaganda Network, and that's literally what they are. They just spread propaganda for the Republican officials that they want elected. NBC also obtained a letter that put Fox News on notice for, quote, conspiracy and subsequent actions to defame Mr. Biden and paint him in a false light, the unlicensed commercial exploitation of his image, name, and likeness, and the unlawful publication of hacked intimate images of him. That's referring to Hunter Biden's laptop that was stolen at a shop and then subsequently leaked by a Republican without Hunter Biden's consent. And that was the whole Hunter Biden laptop controversy that we saw in 2020. It was their version of an October surprise where apparently there was all of this dirt on Hunter Biden, but none of it quite landed, obviously, because Joe still won. And to give my perspective from a Gen Z lens, stuff like this only reinforces my faith in the system, and it helps me realize that these processes exist for a reason, that these processes work, that we live in a country where Hunter Biden is able to take Fox News to court for defaming him. And obviously, the fact that Fox News is able to spread this propaganda in the first place is a huge flaw in our system, but we have the processes to hold them accountable. We have great lawyers in our country that will help people like Hunter Biden. We have great people like Judge Maran. This actually bridges to the next story. Something else that helps reinstill my faith in the system is the fact that Judge Maran found Trump in contempt of court for violating the gag order. This Midas article reads, Judge Maran opened up court by granting Trump's request to attend Barron's graduation, despite the fact that Trump, right-wing media, elected Republican officials, etc., reportedly lied by claiming that the judge previously denied the request when the only thing he did was reserve ruling. He said, we'll make this ruling down the road when we get closer to the date. I mean, this idea that Judge Maran is some slanted, biased liberal who's out to get Donald Trump is repeatedly disproven by the fact that he denied a lot of evidence that would be prejudicial towards Donald Trump. He also is letting Donald Trump attend Barron's graduation and other events, and also dropping the hammer on Donald Trump when needed, but this isn't even that huge of a consequence. The judge also found Trump in contempt of court for violating the gag order and fined him $9,000. He was also ordered to remove the offending post by 2:15 p.m. today. Maran noted that this was the maximum fine allowed under New York law, and if there are future violations, the only other remedy available is jail. And I'm sure Donald Trump will continue to test the limits of these gag orders because what's $1,000 to him, and if he does get thrown in jail, he becomes this sort of martyr. He can further play up this victim narrative that Judge Maran is out to get him and that this entire case is rigged, even though, like I said, Judge Maran has been incredibly impartial and has only helped reinforce my faith in the system. Even throughout the voir dire process and throughout the first week of the trial and leading into the second week, Judge Maran has done a great job. And my final breaking news story is about Rudy Giuliani, who just cannot seem to learn from his mistakes. This guy may be one of the worst lawyers in the entire country, if not the entire world. He went on to Real America's Voice and started talking about withholding aid to Ukraine if they give us a file on Biden, which is exactly what Donald Trump got impeached for his first time. Rudy Giuliani either can't keep his mouth shut, he's incapable of learning from past mistakes, or he just enjoys the chaos and enjoys being a low-life scam artist. I mean, this dude is one of the creepiest people to come out of the MAGA movement. Play the clip of Rudy Giuliani.
It should include Brennan. It should include Biden, the vice president, who approved it and helped out. They should bring over from Ukraine about 20 Ukrainian witnesses, I can get them, that are still being held there. A couple I found out very recently are in fear of death. And somebody should lean on Zelensky. You want another penny? Give us your Biden file.
He said somebody should lean on Zelensky. If you want another penny, give us your Biden file. So that's quid pro quo for dirt on a political opponent, which is exactly what Donald Trump did. Somebody on Twitter said it's astonishing to learn that the guy who has been indicted for fraud and election fraud and found liable for election fraud lies would also be interested in a bit of bribery. So like I said earlier, the fact that Donald Trump is finally facing consequences, the fact that Fox News is also facing consequences in the form of lawsuits by Dominion and Hunter Biden, these sorts of things help reinforce my faith in the system. But then seeing people like this little troll, Rudy Giuliani, being able to walk free and spew all of this BS, all of these lies, and even openly admit he wants to commit crimes, this stuff makes me worry. But I guess Rudy Giuliani deserves due process just like everybody else. He's in the middle of a few cases right now, and hopefully his day will come. But someday, when my generation, Gen Z, is handed the keys to all of these institutions, when we start to take over Congress, when we are in the FBI or the DOJ, I want these institutions to all be functioning. I want them to work. And if Donald Trump wins, if we start to cede ground to the MAGA movement, that may not be possible. We may not have institutions to take over. They may be broken. So what I try to get through to people my age is that if someday we want to pass major legislation regarding climate change or abortion or gun reform or education reform, all of these things will be possible in time. This incremental change happens over a longer period of time than most people like, but that doesn't mean that we can just give up now and let Donald Trump win a second term after 4 years of Joe Biden just because Joe Biden wasn't perfect. Now, I love President Biden, but a lot of people in my generation are becoming increasingly disillusioned with him. But from a harm reduction standpoint, if you look at all of the things my generation would like to accomplish, President Biden is who will get us there, or who will get us closer to being there. And I'm pretty scared that if Donald Trump gets back in office, we may not have an election in 2028 or in 2032, and that will impede our ability to pass this major legislation in the future. I mean, if you look at things like Project 2025, they want to turn our country into a Christian theocracy, strip independency from all of these agencies that Donald Trump has been attacking. These things will absolutely cripple our country and end our liberal democracy. But I can make an entire video about that on the side if you guys want. Make sure to leave a like, make sure to comment a blue heart and subscribe. Most importantly, have a great day, everyone.